Here we are, bottom of the Smash Mountain. I would like to thank my supporters over at patreon.com/bsmpod for continuing to support me in what I'm doing. And I would like to thank all the listeners and the viewers for tuning in, especially today. We have someone who has made a lot of cool things. If you love combo videos, SquidTheCat is someone who you could go to, look up the YouTube channel where you can find supremely amazing combo videos, especially Dreaming Awake, if I am remembering correctly, the latest and greatest combo video that popped off on Twitter, and rightfully so. SquidTheCat, that's how we'll get started. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Good to be on as a guest. I've been doing my own podcast, but I get the other experience now. This is nice.
Yes, you know, instead of being responsible and on the hook for recording and such and needing to put it out, it's super fun. It's cool to be asked on to other podcasts. That's happened to me a few times, and it's really, really cool. And that's the reason why I reached out to you. Of course, when you've done things that have come across on Twitter, like a lot of other people, I go, oh, I'd love to ask SquidTheCat onto the podcast. Zach, you have so many things that you'd be able to talk about, and I would just go, wow, that's so cool, especially with the way that you particularly want to, like the combo videos that you put out. There's a lot of care in that goes into it, and you are clip fiending, clip hunting. But of course, all things leading to when you started your morning Melee podcast. The rest where you can find it. It's on YouTube. Starting off with PGH Carroll, and you've also interviewed Mech and Aklo, and I'm missing
Nathan.
Yes, Nathan Sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, Nathan is going to get mad at me if he ever hears that bit that I forgot Nathan of all people. I've had him on my podcast before. So I apologize, but it's really cool. It was really cool to listen to what you've done so far, because I love how you give people space to be able to talk and tell their stories. You've probably seen this as well. Not always fun when you're watching an interview of some kind and there's just a lot of interrupting and whatnot. So it was really cool that you're doing that. You're also streaming on twitch.tv/squid_the_cat. You have the YouTube channel. You're fiending on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be going to Genesis 8. I mean, what aren't you doing, Zach?
Winning my local. It's the only thing I'm not doing, but that's fine. On my way.
A fun tangent or theme that I've heard through the podcast episodes you've put out so far that I've listened to is that idea that competition is something that you do enjoy. You do love that. You love how it feels. And when you went back to the town, the event at the theater, that Homemade Waffles and NorCal Melee coming back through here, thanks to him and Nathan Sandwich just doing all the stuff up there in NorCal. Super cool. You went to the town and you really liked how it felt afterwards, feeling, okay, I can feel that buzz of competition again, because you walked away from playing in a lot of online events. You weren't really entering any for at least 5 or 6 months, if I recall correctly.
It was like, yeah, it was a while.
But that's the tricky part, right? Because there's certain parts of Melee that you are very fascinated by, the punish, and things that you are not as fascinated by, the neutral. I'm oversimplifying your play style and what you search for in Melee, and you can get into it. But yeah, how do you feel competition has been for you super recently, since you have entered 1 or 2 online events and of course in-person events again?
So since the town throwdown was kind of like my awakening back into the competitive Melee world, super awesome event. I forget what I placed, but good. I did good. And then and I went on after that to it was that combined with our locals coming back once every other Sunday. And I've been getting first, second, and third at those. There's been 5 of them. Well, I haven't won, but I've gotten second and third, like I think at 4 of them, and then like a 5th place or something. But I think I'm doing very good, like in the local scene right now. So that's been nice. And it's not just my placements and stuff. It's just that I'm feeling comfortable back in land Melee and sitting next to my opponent, like just trying to be myself in the game anyway. which, it helps and it hurts. But, if I'm doing a weird comeback and I just have some spur of the moment decision I make, I can't take that back. It's just me. So I just do it. Um, but it's just nice to be back in competition. And then one of the most recent things was I did training mode Tuesday, and that was interesting. That was my first online tournament in like half a year, about, like you said. And I was doing that kind of to get in the spirit of talking to Mech for my show on that Sunday. Because I was like, well, he's going to be talking about all this grinding he does. Like, I should at least try to experience it, myself. So I go in there. I don't know what I expected, but I played something like 12 or 13 sets in the ladder, like a pretty big amount. And then that's the first time I've made the bracket at TMT. So that was awesome too. That felt great. I took a game off of Bobby Big Balls, but not the set, but still. That felt good too. So I guess it's just been competition for me has been good. I don't know if it's improving, but it's at least better than it was like when I kind of fell off a little bit from the online tournaments. I've still been improving. However, fast or slow, I'm not really sure, but
How much of it has to do with, so Kadoran makes a video. Kadoran makes a lot of videos for the record, so good for Kadoran, but one of the more topic heavy videos that I saw him putting out there and Mango reacting to it on stream and everything else is the idea that West Coast is not grinding as much as East Coast just based off of online numbers. And Kadoran saying, I'd really love to see more West Coast grinders kind of stepping up. And I wonder, you surely have a fairly easy time finding people on unranked and probably have maybe somebody's not available at the drop of a hat on the Masters channel of the Melee Online Discord or the people that you hit up. But I can't imagine that it's that hard for you to find matches because who wouldn't want to play you, first of all, but also just there's somebody to play Melee with. What has been your experience though with finding matches, because you're not entering online events where those are readily available. You're trying to find, playing on stream, playing practice sessions and friendlies.
So who am I playing with during that, like when I wasn't competing? Who am I playing basically?
Yeah.
So I don't have many like practice partners. I really should. There's people I know that I should hit up more, who have really fun games with. I'd play a Marth named Witcher from Oklahoma. He's super fun. And he's just in my chat. A lot of people I meet on my stream. He and I started having some good games when I was like playing viewers, and sometimes I just play my viewers. Honestly, I'm not at that high of a level where my viewers are just gonna get rolled by me. We have really close games with like most of the people that watch my stream. So I just gotta be modest and sometimes take a beating. Some rando fox in my chat just kicks my butt. So Witcher's a really good Marth. I practice with like right about my level. CPU 0 I hit up for Jigglypuff practice sometimes, which is really nice. That was actually a funny one because he was my biggest win like last year, probably ever. I'm not sure, but beat him in round 2 at main stage in winners. That was
really
that was
cool.
a big one. Yeah, and then I kind of messaged him after because his sportsmanship was, something to behold. He was like, he shook my hand. He was like, good upset. Like he was like, that's amazing. Like I have to play more Melee now, and he like walked away.
Wow.
He took it like, I don't know. He took it very well. I respected the heck out of that. And then I hit him up later, like a couple weeks later. I was like, if you ever want to practice versus Falcon, do it. So sometimes we play. That's good. But yeah, it's just mostly it's unranked, and then people I've just kind of met randomly. I think I do need to play with the people I know more because that is better practice. And I have some pretty good practice partners now. You mentioned Kadoran actually. He was gonna we've talked about playing. I talk about playing with a lot of people, and then I kind of don't follow up as much as I should. But like Kadoran and I were like, yeah, we're both morning streamers. No one ever plays. Like we should just play in the morning. I play Bobby Big Balls in the morning. Sometimes if he's free, that's fun. Uh, but yeah, it's mostly just whoever's around, whoever is in my chat, or I don't know.
That's super cool though that you're able
Yeah,
to find people who are able to give you a challenge in your chat as well, because there you go. You just go live, you have an audience, you have a community, and if they love playing against you as the occasion permits, that's really really cool. I mean, I like that idea personally. There are streamers for Melee where you can realistically expect I'm not going to play sets with them. They're not going to be throwing them out there.
yeah,
So it's really cool to hear you would be an example of someone who says, yeah, by all means, by all means. And I think of other people like Justice, JFlex, and IBDW plays best of 5 with subs, if I recall correctly. And I think none does that. But like there are Melee
yeah,
streamers, of course, that do that. But like the fact that you would be so willing to do it, that's really, really cool. It sounds to me as if, and you have to understand for me, a not super competitive, not trying very hard player. So do not take this as criticism. I'm just hearing that
yeah,
you're excited about entering events, but it's not purely about trying to improve and place better than you placed at the last big tournament. If it's a big regional or a big major, you're thinking, this is my next big regional or big major. I want to place the same or better. You don't necessarily think in those terms. And of course, if you played Melee for 6 months without entering an online bracket, but you're still playing Melee, then yeah, it's probably not the number one true priority for you, but you want to continue to play the game, and that's really
yeah.
cool.
There's a definitely a competitive drive, but it is. I don't think it's my number one priority like a lot of players, and that's fine. I don't think it's a bad thing. Of course, like losing still sucks. It still feels terrible. If I go to Genesis and go 2-2, I'm gonna have a bad day. But like it's fine. And I'm not entirely like I guess like the reason I go to them is just the community, the Melee scene, and like seeing people I get to meet a million people I've met online now, over COVID that I've never seen in my life. Um, and it's just that chance. I think a lot of it is like the what if of or the dream of going to Genesis and stuff. And like, okay, so some people probably have a dream of getting top 32, getting top 64, top 8 if you're like super like grinding, whatever.
Yeah.
I want to get to the stream setup. I've never gotten to a stream setup at a major before, and this is ridiculous. And all I want to do is do that, make the commentators freak out, make the people spectating freak out, probably lose the set, and then have a good time. That's all. Like that. That's like the kind of thing that just makes me excited. Is things like that, I guess.
When you were
So
playing, when you were starting to play in about 2015, if I recall correctly, that's sort of part of your origin story. Apex 2015, if I thinking correctly.
no, no, no. I
No,
was not at Apex.
no,
No.
not at Apex. Was that the first event that you remember watching live?
Oh, um, maybe. I don't remember which event in particular, but it transitioned from like, you know, brawl funny moments to Project M comma videos to Mewtwo King versus Mango sets, and then I found some stuff on Twitch and started watching.
So
But
cool.
yeah, it was like the Mango Armada Grand Finals like era. It was around then.
And what an era to get into, like Summer of Smash,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. That's cool.
Hmm.
So you didn't necessarily have a lot of people, if you ask them, the more casual Melee fan, who's the nuttiest Falcon who will make the audience go crazy but not win. Everybody usually will say none, but that wasn't the person that you aspired to when you were first starting out. Who was the player or the Falcon player that you were looking at and you were saying, I just want to do that on steroids. I want to move around so nicely, have such beautiful movement that I want people to not be able to think about anything else for the whole day.
Question. I think because it didn't start as like me wanting to like have movement or look really cool with my tech skill and stuff. I think it just started with understanding how fast Melee was because I started for Brawl with my friend, and then we were like, Project M's like kind of fast, and then we got Melee, and we were like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. Um, so I think it was a combination of like the speed I knew was possible, and my inspiration being Bizarro Flame, and like that kind of disrespect, go off stage and Falcon Punch every stock just because it's fun. Like just that attitude. And those things, just speed and tech skill and that kind of punishment game just mixed, and then you have to throw in a little bit of actual fundamentals so I get good. And that's kind of just how I'm here. But as far as players, I mean, it was definitely S2J the most that I watched, because Wizzy wasn't really at the top level yet. So that was peak Johnny era, I feel like, if you don't count right now, because he's amazing right now. But it was like S2J, Bizarro Flame. This might be a weird poll, but Blue Zone or Dead Blue, Project M player. He used to go by Azarin. He has like 7 tags. But incredible player. He's inspired me a lot.
No, that's really cool. Shout outs to PM. Shout outs to P+. That's awesome.
And just like all the kinds of things I would see on YouTube, PGH Carroll's channel, and like just combo videos and things that made my eyes pop out of my face, and I just wanted to be cool like that.
How much do you feel like you're able to observe the content around you now as someone? I mean, you probably had this moment before. Someone comes into chat and is like, "Did you watch this? Did you see this Melee clip?" They'll be like, "You should watch it." And I'm sure that happens at least occasionally. So, do you feel like you're able to see when somebody else who, if it be Nun or Moki, or I mean, it could be anybody else. It could be Zane. Zane does fun stuff. There's some of those edge cancel stuff. Super fun.
If any player is feeling it, they will do something cool. Like, I don't care if you've been tech chasing me all game. If I feel like once they get into like flow state, they're still going to be sick. It's like anybody.
I mean, I still remember the PC drop forward air from Zane at that one SCL against Nun. I was like, where'd that come from? What? I was not expecting. I just felt like not a character break for Zane, but I just wasn't ready to see that. But I don't watch enough of his streams. He does that a lot more than I give him credit for.
Yeah.
So, no, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask what you were asking because I like interrupted.
No, you're fine. But I'm sort of moving on now because I wanted to hear about when you get to this point where 2020 hits, this is COVID, and then rollback comes out. Everybody's excited about rollback. Everybody's excited about random stage select on the first online rollback tournaments, all that fun stuff. But then when 2021 finally comes back and IRL starts to slowly creep in, and you're someone who has had, a mixed bag with online tournaments, you say, okay, yeah, but also no. Yeah. So when IRL stuff first started coming back, do you remember the first event that you went to that was in person, be it a local or that you traveled to?
Yeah, that was Bay Area Rumble, the second one, hosted by Nathan. That's in Concord, California. It's really, really nice tourney. That was a good one.
Was that so that was in the summer of 2021?
I think so. It was the first thing I went to after we were allowed to go to tournaments again.
Do you remember?
I don't remember when.
Do you remember what that was like, just in terms of the day you wake up and you go, oh my gosh, I'm actually playing Melee with other people for real today?
Very excited. Just super happy. I think I probably worked that day and just left work like going straight to the tournament, like super pumped. It was kind of interesting because I haven't ever been super connected to the NorCal scene until like now, basically, because I never really traveled for anything outside of my local where like 20 people would show up. And then COVID hits, no one's going anywhere, and that's when I actually became like, now people know who STC is. Now I'm putting out 100 Ways to Stop Me content. My stream's growing because nobody's doing anything during COVID, so they're hanging out in there. So I kind of like, and nobody knew I was NorCal. Literally, everyone would come in and ask, where are you from? Do you compete? What? And like they still do. So a lot of people still do, but so I'm driving to like Bay Area Rumble, right? And I know Nathan, I know a few of my friends from like local area that are going. So and I'm not super bold in social places like that. I don't go over and be like, I am SquidTheCat. Wonderful to meet you. Like, I don't know. I don't do that. But
Yeah, that's really
once
tough
I
for me
get to know
too.
people, yeah, once I get to know people, I get to know them. And so I guess I'm just really happy and thankful for that tournament because now I'm like, I know all the NorCal people. I'm comfortable with all of them. I've commentated with them. I've played them all in sets and stuff. So,
It's the
so yeah,
wonderful globe. You've
after,
gotten to commentate as well. You were commentating at the town. How
mhm.
cool is that?
Yeah, town was super fun. I just think I get excited about watching the game, and so I don't know. I just want to share that because I do it on stream all the time. Like freak out about stuff that no one else really notices, and I have to be like, "See that thing?" And they're like, "I don't care about that little tech skill thing," but I'm like, "I do," and I'm gonna tell you about it. Um, no, I think I have nice things to say, and I just love uh watching the high level game. So
You
I'll
ever?
take any commentary opportunity I get now.
Oh, okay. So open for commentary
Probably.
gigs. Hey, I just we don't wish for people to all of a sudden have to drop out or what have you. But I mean, what if you're just like kind of chilling? Let's just say somebody's like, "Well, we need somebody. We need somebody," and you go, now I actually have to like introduce myself. Oh boy, I don't want to do that. But if I do, I might get a commentary block for at least a few minutes or half an hour or something, squeeze myself in. I
Yeah.
don't know. Stuff like that. Cause it's weird. I love how
And yeah.
hearing how there are other people who play Melee, but also realize in order to play Melee, you have to socialize. I have to socialize. It was so hard walking to my first local last year because I spent years not going to any Smash tournaments because I would tell myself, oh, I don't really know. Maybe I shouldn't do it. When the whole time, every time I would see Melee and competitive Melee, I'd just go, oh, it's a beautiful game. I love it.
Yeah.
And I go, I really should go to one. And so last year was finally when I did that, and it was so hard. But like you said, it gets so much easier. Once you know people, once you have names, you can walk up to somebody
Yeah.
and they know you as well. This was so much easier because I hate the concept of, hi, I'm Jesse. Yep. Can we just get to the part where it's like a little bit more familiarity? Ugh, the first stage
Hmm.
is so tough. The first impression stage. So I
Yeah. And
definitely.
my beginnings in Melee were pretty funny. I was like 15, and my dad would drive me 2 hours out to this thing because we had no locals near us or something. And I just kind of like stand there. I didn't understand how to go get games with people with these scary 20-year-olds. Uh, and I was just kind of standing there, and I just hang around and watch, and then get 2-0'd and then leave. But I did that probably like 5 times. And I went to an entire Genesis like by myself. Like I didn't even have a hotel. I was like a kid, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I drove there and back like every day for just Saturday or Friday and Saturday. Um, but I was alone. I knew like two people there, and I didn't meet anyone. I feel like it was a wasted major. Like I paid money and I went, and it was an awesome opportunity. I didn't say hi to any top players. I didn't take pictures. I didn't know how to attend a Melee major, you know? And now I know how to do it. So it
only
only
it
took
took took a
4
few
years. Yeah. God.
to actually do a prop. No, I'm so nervous about doing that with Pound. That'll be my first big
Mhm.
tournament. I've only gone to a tournament with 15 or 16 people in the bracket. That's been the biggest for me in person. So the idea of going to Pound, which will probably have all told a couple thousand people just between Ultimate, Melee, everything else, spectators, or all the side tournament bracket stuff, or at least I hope. Huh. There seems like there's going to be a lot of people going to Melee, so I'm not nervous about that. But it's just I'm nervous
Yeah.
about when I get there and I say, you've been psyching yourself up ever since you signed up to go up to people and say hello, most of whom you know because you follow a bunch of people on Twitter. That's me talking to myself. But then I'm really nervous about the part where it's actually time to move my feet towards the people, and then I just don't. That's the part that I'm nervous about. But hearing you talk
Yeah.
about it, where you're better for it. First of all, you're still here, and you stuck around long enough to get better at the game and figure out how to make that all work. Being a person in that space, even at a big major like Genesis, so that's really cool.
Yeah. And it's ongoing process always. I mean, uh there's the time, I mean, main stage last year was this hilarious moment for me. I don't know if you've heard this story. I've told it on my stream before, but I was warming up SFAT for S2J,
Mm,
like in the back, VIP, whatever,
very
top
nice, very
player
nice.
zone. Yeah, got in there somehow. Warming him up, and Mango walks in because it's Sunday. He's doing commentary. He wasn't there all weekend. He walks in, and everyone's like, "Mango, what's up, man?" They all go over. They're saying hi, fist bumps all around, And I was playing Gumi at the time, and Gumi like pauses, gets up and stuff, and I just kind of sat there like I didn't know if Mango knew me. I didn't want to be annoying if he didn't know who I was, and then I was just kind of like sitting there at the setup like uncomfortable. Then I kept playing when Gumi came back. And then he called me out on the commentary later. He was like, "Wait, that was Squid the Cat? He didn't say hi to me. What the hell, man?" So I'm still learning these things. A little more confidence might be helpful for socializing.
That's exactly the kind of nightmare scenario that I'm talking about, where somebody goes and they
Yeah.
say, "Oh, hi, person that I know," and I don't know that person, and I go,
Hmm.
"I don't know if I'm supposed to follow. What are the protocols here? I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to do." So again, you're literally describing things that I've thought to myself, I would really like for this to not happen. Like, I know you like Gumi. You probably don't think any less of Gumi when, coming back and being like, you could have just invited me along. That would have been a nice, helpful thing for me.
Well, like I said, I hardly knew him. The only person I knew there was Zach, was SFAT.
Mhm.
So yeah.
How did it go, by the way, for SFAT when he played S2J? I'm trying to remember. I think it was SFAT who moved on.
I think he moved on. I know that.
Oh, because Kadoran and SFAT was loser semis, and then Kadoran played Hungrybox after that, if I recall correctly. Something like
Yeah.
that.
No, he kind of tore through Johnny. He messed up some things that, I mean, obviously he wasn't messing up against me just because different levels there. He was playing me in Space Pigeon before. Um, but I was like watching it. It was a little close, but I think he just took it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
what do
do
you think about
remember.
the Spaceys versus the Falcon matchups? Because
Oh,
Falco, I guess in
geez.
particular, is a bit of a problem for Falcon players. But what's your perspective on it? Because you've played enough, especially unranked Spaceys. You get the
Mhm.
whole gambit
I
there.
I streamed today, and then I was playing for like an hour before this right now, and I think I played 20 Falcos today, but at least. Um, but that being said, I think Fox is the harder of the two. Falco, I can autopilot more. I know how to beat a lot of things. Uh, for me, Falco's like the patient, slower ones that are really methodical are gonna get to me more easily. Uh, it's so against the rushdown Falcos, I'm just having a blast. It's amazing. And then against slow, methodical ones, it's kind of just a mental game of can I handle this? Can I feel okay when they're being way over there and not in my face where I want them to be. Uh, but yeah, and you just have to Falco and for Fox. I think you just have to know you're gonna get beat up. You're Captain Falcon. You're easy to combo. Take it with a grain of salt or whatever. Whatever you have to do to still uh, keep your head in the game, because all you have to do is hit them once. Fox or Falco, you just have to kill them. Uh, so yeah, I think my defense is just better against Falco. I think that's all it means because I play him a lot more and I know what to do in a lot more situations. And then Fox is just kill me. Once I have defense against Fox, it'll be a little better.
And
I
something
think,
that you would have said on your Morning Melee podcast is talking about the methodical players just sort of driving you crazy because it's the antithesis of STC. The move is to go in. What's this? What's this going back or backing off nonsense? And especially Falco, I can see how that would be annoying because it's backing off and shooting lasers from far away.
yeah. Well, it's what I crumble against. I think is pressure without pressure, and it's a beautiful thing that you could do this in Melee. Like, it's super impressive. I just can't see that and appreciate that when it's happening to me.
Right, of
um
course, yeah.
but like, it's a Falco that will laser and then do absolutely nothing, laser and then watch what I do after it. They're not mindlessly just going in after it or being too crazy. um and I think a lot of people, it's the neutral that's like gentle. Does that make sense? Gentle neutral, where you're just waiting. You both build damage for a nice 30 seconds, and it's like, wow, this is something. And then and then a combo just kind of gets picked up by someone, and it's like these little gentle hits. But I want to I want to read somebody's movement one time and kill them for it. It makes me impatient though, and it's like, commit. That's the word I haven't said yet. They're not committing.
Right.
And I commit to every single approach that I do, and it kills me. So, because I don't think it's that I lack all patience. I have a little, at least,
Of
after
course,
playing
you
5
played long
years,
enough.
but
Yeah.
mhm, but I just commit 100% for every single opening, and it's wild.
Well, the part of the thing is that Falcon seems like the character where they talk about Fox wave dashing in place, just wave dashing straight down to kind of mimic doing an option, like that kind of stuff. And other than naring in place, it's not like you can stomp in place a whole lot. It's not like you can just,
You'd get whiffed punished for all that stuff,
yeah, right.
That
It's
Spacey's won it.
kind of hard to just say, hey, I'm going to do something. I mean, other than expert dash dancing and absurd
Yeah.
amount of dash dance. Falcon's got a great dash dance. Of course, that's great, but there's almost like this idea that because the Spaceys have projectiles, because they have shine, they can just, again, they're willing to play a rushdown style or they're willing to play a more hit and run style. And Falcon, if he's uncomfortable, it's kind of a ticking bomb or like a time clock
Yeah, yeah,
there
yeah.
where, oh no, I'm not ready or
I
I don't want
haven't
to play this right now.
I haven't needed 15 seconds. What am I doing?
Right.
I must go.
Must knee.
Race car man, go fast.
So would you say that when you have to sit down against a Fox or a Falco in bracket, though, what is the first thing that you think when you're? I mean, maybe you're not even thinking about the character. Maybe you're thinking about the person that you're playing. But what do you think of first when you see the Spaceys get selected on the screen against you in a tournament set?
Uh, don't screw it up. You know this matchup is what I think to myself. But I just think of all the things. I kind of have. I guess now that you mention it, I have like a checklist
Mhm.
almost, like a probably a bad checklist to have because it's just unranked habits. But if I'm playing a Falco, I will think, will they double laser from ledge? Will they laser down air? Will they not overshoot so I can just Lord Stomp them the whole set? Are they um are they tech in place person? Are they tech out person? I try not to box people up, but when they do something like 5 times, I'm like, okay, like, that's kind of where you're at right now.
Yep.
And if I don't see you adapt, then uh I just try to punish those things, because like I said, I'm trying to commit 100% on something that I know is going to happen. uh I believe will happen. And so I just look for those things immediately. Is the Fox a full hop nair person? Are they a short hop nair person? um do they laser a ton in the corner, or are they always on top of me? Like, so I think it's, and if I've played them before, I recall the last times. I'm like, what were they doing last time? uh But yeah, I think I just do that for all the matchups that I am familiar with, somewhat.
So you watch enough Melee, and I'm sure you've played East Coast players in your
Mhm.
time. So what do you think about like the idea that I have right now is the concept that you're describing how to figure out and call out habits or just tendencies that a player will have seems to be something that all Melee players need to do, but it seems to be a strength of the West Coast. You know, it's that idea of like robot versus playing the game or robot versus playing the
Mhm.
player kind of a thing. Do you think
Yeah,
that's at the core of that, or like, sorry, do you think
like the
that
regions.
when you're looking at how somebody's playing as compared to watching yourself almost, I don't know, even a robotic or like a methodical player can't watch their own character. You have to watch what the other person's doing, but maybe I'm not coming across super clearly.
I think I get it. Like well, because I don't keep my eyes on the other person all the time. I definitely don't. I watch myself like probably too much. But it's just a general understanding of where I am and where they are on the
Mm-hmm.
stage. That's just all I keep in the back of my mind. Because I don't need to see, well, maybe I do. Maybe I have bad neutral, but I don't pay attention to are they wave dashing right now? Is there uh like are they doing this and gonna leave me an opening with this up tilt or something? I just kind of it's like a blob just on this side of the stage.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm just good. I want to hit that area, this general area, and but I never aim for the blob. I aim anywhere except what the blob is. So I either aim for like the ledge or I full hop knee right here by the side plat. Like if there's a spacey under a platform, that's what I'm aiming for is like these two spots. You know, I just all I do is never attack where they are, because they're gonna do some shit, and I'm gonna hit them sometimes.
Well, no, you're playing
But
the character that has like a little bit more frame startup, so aiming for
yeah,
a
so
specific
yeah,
to the character is great.
I have to have my move out so much so far before
Yeah.
anyone else has their move out for it to hit. I think people that don't play Falcon don't understand that how hard that is.
Yeah, I've
They're
played
like they're
Falcon
like
here and
Falcon's the
there, and I'm just
fastest
like
character.
always throwing out the knee too late. I'm always throwing everything out too
Yeah,
late, especially
they're
stomping
like
knee.
they're like Falcon's the fastest character in the game. I'm like, dude, all of his moves come out frame 16 or something. Like, I don't. uh, but like it's kinds of speed. You know, of course he can be the fastest in the game. You have to use it super well to be effective. But when it's done right, it's a thing of beauty. And there's so many fast Falcons right now. Soof is ridiculous. Um, Mech is a weird example because he's slow but then fast randomly. Um,
Yeah, can dial
but
up 0
none,
to
I
100.
think none I've heard and I've played him and I feel like he's definitely the fastest Falcon right now. But I mean, you can't really compare them. They're all ridiculous.
That is the most fun part is that somehow each top level Falcon, at least the top three, right? Wizzy, S2J, and None all play slightly differently, even though it's a little harder for me as a not great player to sort of recognize that at all times, but you would know.
Yeah,
So like I guess you could say what your favorite part about is for someone like S2J who we don't get to see a ton of on Twitch as of like, you know, like online events and
as
that kind of stuff.
lately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lately. So I remember watching S2J do really well at stuff like Four Loco Fight Night last year for
Mhm.
online events, but haven't seen a super ton recently. What's something that you see from S2J so that you don't have to like span all the Falcons? You can just name something
Yeah.
from S2J that you really like.
Oh, sure. Um, I mainly notice movement when I look at any kind of melee. Uh, and I get these kinds of questions a lot, you know, from chat and stuff. Definitely just about the Falcons, the notable ones. But S2J never touches the ground. He he has like peach float powers and Jigglypuff powers that no other Falcon ever has. And like if and then right when you don't think he's gonna fastfall, he finally does the first one that he's in like 30 seconds that he's been playing. He finally does. He's floaty. He's his spacing and floatiness is ridiculous. It's super pretty. Um, And yeah, I don't think any other Falcon moves like that. That's one thing.
That's super interesting. So then I wanted to ask you, and I should have asked you earlier when we were talking about tournaments that you've attended, but I remember you attended Riptide, right?
Yeah.
And this was also the event that you got DQ'd out of bracket.
Hmm.
Probably not your favorite memory. I'm just curious what you remember from that tournament. I vaguely recall reading your thread about it on Twitter
Oh
when
yeah.
you were, obviously in the heat of the moment, and of course, flying all the way from NorCal to Ohio, so a lot of emotions. But like looking back on it, what do you remember from that weekend?
So there's an untold Riptide story that I might have to share with you. But as far as just initially getting DQ'd and stuff, that was super disappointing. I felt like I was playing super good all day, and I'm a morning person. I was in the venue when it opened at 9. I played. I met PGH Carroll. I played Nick for like 2 hours, and then I went and found some other people. I was practicing. I thought I was playing super good, and I was just waiting for 1 p.m. I was like, "When's it gonna be 1? I want to play. I feel good." And 1 comes around, and I go over there, and then I figure out what happened, and my heart just sinks. I mean, it was very sad. And I mean, I've learned my lesson now. It's one of the things I'm learning how to go to majors, I guess, because
Mm-hmm.
what happened with Smash GG had the PST time zone, the Pacific time zone, when I looked at it the week before on my phone. I was like, okay, my pool's at 1. And then I fly out to Ohio, and the time zone changes on the website. And so it was actually like 11 or 10 or something in the morning. And so I will never not check my phone again the second I wake up when it's my pool. So I will always double check that now. And then one person I met at Riptide was Jack Kenny. I don't know if you know Jack, but he helps run those events, the like Low Tide City, and what was the one before?
I think it was Low Tier
Smash
City
and
before the
Splash.
Oh, Smash and
Uh,
Flash. Right, of course.
Smash and
Yes.
Splash was
My
his
bad.
thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
he helped a lot of people with it, or it was his tournament. I forget. TO guy though, and he knew all the people running Riptide. It's
Let's go,
kind of
Jack.
like Smash and Splash 2. Yes, shout out to Jack. I also knew him from the Falcon Discord. That's where I met him, and uh he's just a super homie. We met, we played there, and it was super fun. And then he heard about my bracket situation, and I found him. We were talking and stuff, and he was like, I haven't played yet. I was like, okay, like I hope you do good. And he's like, no, I hope you do good. I'm like, what do you mean? And that's everyone's wearing masks in this tournament, and Jack happens to be named Jack, and my name is Zach, and we happen to have the same color eyes and hair and about the same height. And so he goes over to the TO table, and we realized we were literally like the same seed too, like right next to each other in the seating of the whole tournament, like 1,000 people or whatever. He goes over to the TO desk, and we ask, I didn't want to be mean, and we ask, and they were like, we cannot switch the people. Smash GGs doesn't work like that. Um, but I mean, Jack's kind of like homies with these guys, and so at the TO desk, some of them are like, but like there's not really anyone checking. It's not like we're gonna know if you ever did something like that. But like, I didn't say that. It's so the rest of the tournament, I have my mask on. I'm waiting for like I think 1:32 p.m. was his pool. And I'm over there just like playing friendlies right next to it. I'm playing Green Falcon now with the tag Jack on it. My plan was if anyone asks who I was, I say Zach, but it's muffled under a mask, so they think Jack Kenny. Cool. It's just this guy. And so I play. I played in tournament at Riptide as Jack, and I did pretty good. I
Oh,
I literally
dude.
was one set away from getting top 64, or like getting out of pools. It was good. And icing on the cake of the story is to get out of pools, I played the Samus. I am so sorry, I forget his tag, but a very nice Samus. And we had a game 3 last stock on Dreamland where both 130, 150%. We have both like hit each other off like 3 or 4 times. Can't edge guard, shaky, freaking miserable.
Let's go.
Yeah, adrenaline melee for sure. And he gets the kill and absolutely like pops the hell off. He stands up. It was amazing moment for him. I shake his hand and stuff, and I slowly learn after this that that person is from Jack's local scene. Like Jack knows this guy, and they've played a bunch of times, and he's never beaten Jack Kenny, and that's why he popped off so hard because he finally beat this Falcon demon of his in bracket at a major. And he we talked. I did rock paper scissors. We talked before the set and after the set. And then I go report all of this to Jack. I'm DMing him on Twitter. I find him in the venue and we chat and we're just cracking up about it. And then he's like, I have to tell that guy. I have to tell my friend that wasn't me. And so I'm like back at my hotel room. It's like 10 p.m. that night. Super tired. Really fun day. Crazy day. I mean, emotional roller coaster day, really.
Yeah.
But I'm there and I get a DM from that Samus player, and he just says, I fucking knew it. And we both just cracked up. I was like, oh my god, my camera died.
No worries.
But that was a hilarious story. Riptide is memorable for me because of that one. Hello? There we go.
There is still a limited amount of smurfing. Limited amount, okay? This is not need to be a whole thing.
I do not, and I mean no disrespect to tournament organizers or anything. I did not want to ruin I knew I wouldn't make it far enough into bracket for that to matter.
Yeah.
Like it didn't change anything. So, but I know I like won't do that again. That's definitely a one-time thing. Just a funny spur of the moment decision.
The story of Jack. It's great. It's great. I would love to just be there's the realization, right? And it's not as much fun for you when you realize that you missed your pool. That wouldn't be really super fun to see, but what would be super fun to see? This is like an episode out of a TV show or something. This would be his best tournament win ever, a validation of all the melee that he's played at this point to beat Jack, only to find out afterwards that the entire time he thought something's off. This is not the way Jack normally plays. He sounds different. He's not saying the things that he normally says. I mean, he always starts by doing rocks during rock, paper, scissors. Something is wrong. But I can't, I don't want to say you're not Jack. That's so funny, dude. That would be interesting to see. If somebody was in the room, Jack should have filmed him. It wasn't me. I knew it. Yeah, that would be so fun.
Dude, that's one of the best freaking tournament memories. One of the, just like a side note that I've realized is every major I've attended or every regional I've attended, I lose to a Samus every single time. It's always to get out of pools I play a Samus for some reason. Every single time.
Let's see. Who are the Samuses out in NorCal though? Because I can think of
YCZ.
Oh, okay.
YCZ, Daryl, Japes, and there's a couple more. There's a lot of good Samuses up here though.
Oh, that's really cool. That's awesome.
Or at least a handful, 4 or 5.
Right, because I'm having a hard time getting beyond Morse Code and the Swooper, who I feel like play tournaments.
They're East Coast, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's also DA West, but up and down on commitment, also playing other stuff. You get it.
Yeah.
That's cool though. There's more than I thought about YCZ, but it's hard because SoCal and NorCal, I don't live out there, so it's tough. I will occasionally get them mixed up. I'll be like,
yeah,
where
I don't know if he's NorCal or SoCal. I forget.
Oh, okay.
About YCZ, yeah.
And specifically,
he was at the Town Throwdown, so I think he's NorCal, but
I mean,
Yeah,
shout outs to
that's
YCZ though.
another
Some great
dude.
videos on like 80 plus ways to recover with Samus. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he that's one of the people I know that plays a character I need matchup experience against that I just don't hit up ever. Never no want to play with him, even though I do.
Someday.
No, but us playing is freaking ridiculous. We've played in bracket, we played some friendlies before, and it's like, I mean, he's if I played Samus, I would be YCZ. It's ridiculous. Just like if I played Peach, I would be Ryo beat. Like I always find the
Mm.
similarities. And if I play those people, the friendlies are just I don't think I'm learning anything from that. It's just a freaking mess of tech skill and stupid edge guards. But so much fun.
Watching Ryo beat clips on Twitter is such a treat, and especially the combo videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's you, it's Ryo beat, it's Justice, Texas
Mm-hmm.
Fox player. I mean, those are the combo videos I make sure to watch. Those three.
Mm. Yeah, there's so many people to look out for. It's hard.
It is
There's
hard.
of course I know a ton of Falcons because I'm just really
Mm.
in that community. I'm in a couple communities like I have my stream, Discord. Like the three I'm on the most is like my stream Discord, Boostopolis, and then the Falcon Discord and NorCal. So it's like that's kind of like my three communities really. So of course I know about like I'm always waiting for the next Bab activated video. I'm always waiting for the next BB360 video. And like if Chef ever works on something, I'm freaking ready for that. But like there's a ton of Falcon comp videos to look out for all the time. Um Save State makes amazing stuff.
Oh my gosh, I feel bad. I'm so sorry, Safe State. Every single link clip. Never mind. I always forget when I'm thinking of the ones that I make sure to watch. I then forgets at least somebody.
Oh, there's so many good players and cool people. You gotta
Mhm.
forget someone. Um, man, I don't know. There's some YouTube channels that are just like committed to their craft, that only put out combo videos, and those are those channels that I just think are legendary. And the two that come to mind are what I said, Bab Activated and BB360. But their channels are just combo videos, and that's all. It's amazing.
It's a legitimate art form even still. I mean, people talk about the decline of combo videos. It's not how people get into melee anymore. And yet, I would want to show someone dreaming awake. Like just in terms of
Yeah,
have you ever played melee? Oh, I used to play melee. I know Falcon Punch. Let me show you how Falcon Punch works nowadays. I mean, that is the
yeah.
video to show that person.
No, definitely, and I don't think they're going anywhere. I mean, comedies will not die as
Mhm.
long as I'm here, as long as all these people are here that are doing it,
Let's
you
go.
know. And maybe they don't have the views they used to, but I don't think it matters. Like, because I don't think when I make these artsy things, that is my favorite thing to do too. You look at my channel, I have like stream highlights, I have like funny shit posts like I did on April 1st this year. I have the podcast, I have random other projects that I do, but my favorite thing is the artistic melee things to music that I love.
Hmm.
That is my favorite thing in the world to create. There's the tech skill video, and we go gentle. There's Dreaming Awake combo video. There's Defining Swag, the whole combo video series I did
Yeah.
last year. Um, those things are what I put like every ounce of passion and love I have for melee into, and it's just such an experience to make them, and then just even if maybe one doesn't get a bunch of views, like I don't really feel bad about that as long as there's one person in the comments or one person who doesn't comment but they think to themselves like this is super sick. As long as one person has a life-changing experience, that's all I care about, because like it's what it's about.
Since it was such a successful most recent one, Dreaming Awake, it got a lot of attention on Twitter in particular. And I guess
Yeah,
yeah, 11,000 views is good. That's great for a combo video.
for
And
a
I'm
combo
sure,
video now,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely happy with
definitely.
that. Like, do you feel any sort of pressure about, well, what's the next one going to be like, because I don't really feel that with like getting somebody like you, for example, or getting to talk to, I got to talk to Amsa and I've gotten to talk to
Mm,
UPU. So like, then I think about what's it going to be like in the next episode of the podcast. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Like, I'm the only one who can make it a big deal. It
you have to
stops.
be now,
Just have to
right?
stop here. My brain needs to tell me it's okay. That part doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah, you have to be like in the now, and not care about it. But like, and I've made so many at this point that the numbers don't matter as much. Even if there's a big number, like wow, that did super good. But um, that's just like what I was saying. I kind of care. I'm also trying to impress myself at this point.
Mm.
I counted like a month ago, and I have 58 combo videos on my YouTube channel. I was like, I'm trying to impress myself now. Like the things I'm doing in the game, the editing, how it goes with the music, how I do it all. Like I want to see new stuff too. I'm not going to be bored and do the same thing a bunch of times over and over again. So uh, I think all it is a waiting game because Dreaming Awake was successful and it was that good because I didn't post something like that for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just playing and grinding and finding new stuff and exploring, Punish even more. And so maybe I'm not putting out a combo video every month or every 3 weeks or 2 weeks like I used to, but I think I want to make those ones more now. Those spiritual experiences, the crazy
Mm-hmm.
uh, things like that. So it's just a waiting game of how patient am I and how long can I wait before I'm too giddy and excited to like edit and make it. Uh, so Dreaming Awake was what 3 weeks ago. So it's been almost a month now, and I'm starting to get a little like make something, but I just have to hold on to it. So because then that's when I can outdo myself is if I wait even longer.
Just being proxy to PGH Carroll will help. I mean, you guys went over this about how PGH Carroll will hold on to things for literal years and have
Yeah,
throwaways that I'll be like, oh my
mhm.
gosh, these are just throwaways.
I
So
did do that actually. I had like a combo video I put out before Dreaming Awake that was like the stuff I wasn't gonna put in Dreaming Awake, but I still got it in that time frame, and I was like, I decided to do this in like 2 hours. Like here you go, and the comments were like, what? These aren't worthy. But I might do that, to kill time while I like wait for these bigger projects to come into fruition. But
you're just playing with all of our hearts over here, but I do appreciate that you're sort of taking a different approach this year as compared to last year. Last year, like you said, I mean, the defining swag, it was once a month, and that is impressive in of itself to
yeah, I
get
mean at
clips.
least. But
Yeah, that you gotta that you yeah, you put out more than 12 of them. Didn't you put out like 15?
some of them were like interludes, which were honestly my favorite parts of them because they were just super condensed. My favorite like clips of that quarter of the year, and I just put it in like a 45-second little interlude song, and I just loved those because I went crazy with editing on them too. But that's why there were so many because there was like 5 of those that were like a minute long.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, it's all good.
Yeah.
I need to move my camera because I got to get to the Patreon questions we got here. While I'm doing that, I will also share an idea. What if you instead of having Samox or somebody else making a documentary about something in Melee, what if instead of them editing the hype parts of the documentary, they come to you and they say, "We need you to, yeah, we need you to beef this up, or we need you to like provide clips because the time they don't
Mm.
have clips or something. I don't know, doctor footage, something." That'd be something that would interest you at all, or would you say, there's probably another editor that you could find that might do a better job than me, or would you want to be interested in taking on something?
like like they want me for part of their project to make my own thing and then use it in their project.
Yeah, I guess like to collaborate essentially.
Yeah, it would depend on a lot of things. That piques my interest. That sounds cool. Like something with Golden Guardians or like Beyond the Summit. Those kinds of things could be super cool, and I I think I'm advanced enough at this point in some of my editing stuff that I could collaborate with some people like that. But it would just depend on what it is, if I like the idea, if I want to be a part of the idea, a big thing for me is if it's a combo video you're talking about. I'm not really sure if that's what you're saying, but like if it's a combo video, one big thing for me is I have to edit it. They're my
Mm,
clips. I have to put it together.
it's your
There's
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's other things like some people, especially top players, a lot of people make combo videos for them, and I'm not entirely against it, but I just like it's more from the soul and artistic. I think when it's one person's vision, it's like all there.
Yeah, it's more pure, and you're the one who actually played the character in those clips, and then you
You
are
know what
also
you felt like in the moment, and you know what you want it to feel like when they watch.
yes.
So you could do that. Yeah.
So yeah, there's the idea, oh, you can have different kind of perspectives go into it, but then it's also like, well, okay, well then you're trading away having that just be a singular journey, well, which totally makes sense. So we have some patron questions. You would know Connor, aka Contra, a NorCal TO. And by the way, shout outs to Connor for getting that the gallbladder thingy up and at and surviving all that fun
So
stuff. A little bit of a scare there over the weekend, but let's go,
yeah.
Connor. Finding the time in the recovery process to submit questions, so let's get them in. And these can be you can make these as short as you want, and then we'll get you going. So,
Mhm.
what would you say is the most underappreciated or underrated combo video, either one of your own or somebody else's?
These questions are like catered towards me, aren't they? Oh,
Well,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Um, um, there's hundreds. I think a video on this channel called it. I put a video out last year of my top 10 like favorites that I saw that whole year, 2021. This one got, I believe, number 2 on that list. It is called Halloween, but it only has one L. It's just all lowercase. Halloween by a Mewtwo named Dirtian. Derdian, Dirtian, I think. It is ridiculous. It goes so hard, and it has my favorite moment of any Melee video in history with a Mewtwo down smash.
I was gonna guess down smash, either that or just like the nuttiest down air. But those are two of my favorite Mewtwo
Yeah,
moves that I see. You just get it just right. Oh,
ridiculous. It
okay.
I
That's a
I've
great
watched that.
teaser.
I think I've watched that 10 times and I get chills at that moment every time. It's a metal song. It goes so hard. And there's like a build and it stops and he does like the craziest movement into disable. They're sitting there and it stops and he just hits the down.
That's awesome. I can
It's
picture it. I can picture it.
it is
Oh,
ridiculous.
Zach,
But
that's so
yes,
cool.
look that up.
Let's
Look
go,
that up.
Dirty N. Let's go. What would you say is the most underutilized move for combos? I mean, you can keep it for yourself for your Falcon.
My Falcon underutilized.
Impossible. But
Hmm.
if you had to pick a move, I see you
I
using.
don't. Well, I don't use up tilt, and I don't use not very much, and I
Mhm.
don't use Falcon Kick. I'm working on a lot of Falcon Kick ideas right now.
Let's go.
Uh,
Let's go.
there's a few things like up throw into it can kind of juggle, and
Mhm.
then there's a Falcon I know named Fat Max, who actually has fantastic combo videos as well. But he excels for some reason at Falcon Kick trading off stage with Firebird and Firefox. And so they're right here, and he jumps off. Falcon kicks him, and they kind of just hit each other both with fire and like bounce off of each other.
Right.
And he like continues edge guards like that. So I want to be doing that too. I'd love that.
That's awesome because like at a high enough damage, you get hit, especially
Yeah, you
it's like
live. Yeah, it's
the Firebird sends you directly up, so it'd be hard to DI onto the stage, tech, jump off, knee, smack him
you
around.
live.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
that's an idea, but I mean, I can't wait to see that. And
yeah.
you're the one who has to do that. I'm sorry, I can't just
That's
cook them up
I.
for
It
you.
would be
You
my
got it.
pleasure.
You got it.
That's fine.
All in good time. All in good time. And then what would you say has been, you can either keep it to just this year or 2021, your favorite song that you use for one of your combo videos?
Um, I like to use as many different kinds of music as possible so I can mess with different feelings.
Yeah.
Because the game can feel however you want it to if you edit correctly, if you make the experience like you want it to be. So Dreaming Awake was definitely the most successful. I did that, and a type of song I'd never used before. So I would say that, but a completely flip flopped, like opposite feeling would be Defining Swag Part 8, Come Down, is by Anderson .Paak. That song. That is a very good one too, I think.
And I forget the last question, so sorry, Connor. But Zach, it's been such a pleasure having you on, and we've gotten to hear about a lot of stuff that you're doing, that you have done. Got a lot of great stories. My new favorite story about smurfing. It's better than any other smurfing story I've heard so far. So that's great. And before we get you going, I just want to make sure that you can plug all the things that you want to, shout outs you want to make, that kind of stuff.
Plug absolutely everything. My brother, my oldest brother Josh, at I Play Melee on Twitter. He is like my manager. He's my inspiration for Melee. He helps me with everything. He went to Riptide with me. We're going to Low Tide City this year. Just a wonderful person to have while I'm in my Melee journey, wherever it's going. So shout outs to It's Apple, Josh. And the shout outs to North Bay Melee. For the locals, everyone showing up. Niconics and IBS, $20, who are my basically rivals right now. We're top 3 at all the locals, and so I just need to beat both of those guys. Inspirations, just in general. I was already talking about them. Bizarro, PJ Carroll, Blue Zone, and anyone who makes combo videos in the world. So
Continue
thank
to
you for doing
inspire at least this one amazingly cracked Falcon player over at Northern California. You can find, so I'll make sure to help you plug where the people can find you. At Raptor Boost on Twitter. This will all be in the description.
Can't believe I got that handle. That was one of the best days of my life. I went on Twitter and just changed my handle. I was like, there's no way it's available. And it was available. I was like,
literally, you don't have to do underscores or anything. It's at Raptor Boost on Twitter. Although there is some underscores for the Twitch. Like I said earlier, twitch.tv/squid_the_cat. And then if you look up SquidTheCat, all one word, on YouTube, you will surely find the YouTube channel where you can see all of the combo videos, all 58 plus of them. And then you also have
don't watch the early ones. They suck.
And then, well, no, you get to see the progression, and then you get to also watch and listen to the Morning Melee podcasts, which, again, all people doing Melee podcasts, super, super cool. Love the fact that you're doing it as well, Zach. And then there's, oh wait, I covered everything. Or did I miss a place that you like to be active?
You got it all.
No, is there a place you like to be active otherwise?
That's it. That's all.
Yeah, the whole TikTok thing, I'm not getting into it for now, but I mean, I recognize its place, lots of views, blah, blah, blah. That's not for me, not yet.
See if I get off my lazy butt and have to do that sometime.
But yeah, I'm just happy doing like 3 or 4 or whatever places I'm on. So that feels like enough for one person to handle. So I definitely get it. But Zach, thank you so much for joining me on Bottom of Smash Mountain.
Thank you for having me. It was wonderful.